guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to talk about a quick Game 3 preview between the Denver Nuggets versus the Miami Heat NBA Finals. Let's jump right into it. What are some of the things that the Denver Nuggets could do to respond to that Game 2 loss? And what are some things that the Miami Heat can do to build off their Game 2 win? Let's start with the Denver Nuggets, of course. Obviously, starting the game has been really crucial for the Nuggets over the course of these playoffs. Terrible start. It was a terrible start in Game 2. Guys kind of defensively looked out of place, unsure, unconfident of what was going on. Offensively, it was almost like nobody wanted to take lead. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wanted to concede. Jamal Murray is saying, go ahead, Jokic. Jokic is saying, go ahead, Jamal. Michael Porter Jr. is over there like, what the heck? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how the start of the game was. You definitely want to remedy that. The best way to remedy that is for Michael Porter Jr. and then the lead dog, Jamal Murray, to be aggressive to start the game. For Jokic to be focused on setting those guys up if needed, utilizing himself off that elbow or off the block to find Porter Jr. in the corner, to find Jamal Murray coming off a pin down off ball screen, going to the top of the key. I mean, there's so many things you could do that would that would have a better start. And again, you just have to be a little more assertive as a coach. I know Coach Malone is more, like I said, in the review video, he's more on the motivational end, and he's good on the psychological aspect to an extent. But sometimes you just got to be a little assertive and remind guys. You know what I'm saying? Not just remind guys, but to demand that guys be focused. To kind of be instructing on where their focus should be at all times. And then, of course, like I said, without that high level of awareness along with that focus, it means absolutely nothing. You know what I'm saying? You need to make sure you maintain a high level of awareness with that high level of focus. And as a coach, you need to be instructing and reminding players of that if necessary, until it's a habit, until it's something that they just do. And I say that specifically for the Denver Nuggets. I just coach that way, period. Which is why I've succeeded the way I've succeeded, and why I feel like I can succeed on any level of coaching. But it's mostly because the Denver Nuggets have certain players where you have to push them in certain ways. You know what I'm saying? You have to remind them in certain ways. And unfortunately, I know in the NBA, as for a coach, you can only do so much. That's partly true. And the reason I say partly true, because the other part to that is most coaches in the NBA only want to do so much. You know what I'm saying? These are grown men for the most part. You don't want to have to be saying too much, especially things that you feel like they should already know. And at one point in time, that may have really been the expectation. But now, in my opinion, it's not. It's just not. Just like Damian Lillard said with the amount of entitlement, it's just a different. It's just a different mentality. Some of these guys just have to be told, man. It's unfortunate, but it's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? And you have to remind these guys and instruct these guys constantly. You know what I'm saying? For the most part. Now, some guys, again, DeMar DeRozan, you don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Paul George, you don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, having guys like that on the team can help you as the coach. You know what I'm saying? They help keep guys in line as far as focusing on not only what they want to do offensively, but also on what we need to do within the game plan, what we're doing on the defensive end, how we need to be keeping ourselves in position to get back you know what I'm saying, and not just sell out trying to get a shot, but be able to be in position to get back on defense. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's things like that that matter. You know what I'm saying? That some guys don't give a darn about, i.e. Jordan Poole. You know what I'm saying? Some guys don't care about none of that. You know what I'm saying? For real. And that's not the and that's a lot. That's a large percentage in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's it's just knowing that as a coach. You know what I'm saying? You have to, you know, tune your instrument. You know what I'm saying, to what it's been through. You know what I'm saying? Um, Somebody else's instrument might not be. They might have the same alto sax you do, but they don't have to tune it like that. They might have the exact same guitar that you do, but they don't have to tune it like that. They might have the exact same piano that you know what I'm saying? Theirs has been in a different environment. Theirs has been not through what yours has been through. They don't have kids banging on it, playing on it, touching on it with candy and juice boxes and yours has been through all of that. So you need to deal with it accordingly, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. I'm just using that as an analogy. But for the Denver Nuggets, they have players, you know what I'm saying, that you have to, um, you got to help remind, man, and keep pushing and keep motivating. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, Jeff Green has been in the NBA a very long time, and he's played on a lot of teams. And yes, he's been a good veteran, but there's a reason he's been on all these teams. Okay? There's a reason, and Jeff Green loses focus. I've been watching him since Georgetown, and he's not I'm just saying, Jeff Green is a veteran with a extended career and a history of losing focus. You know what I'm saying? Or I should say, not being aware as much as he should be or could be. And that's a veteran who's been in this league a long time. So that's what I'm saying. You got to understand these things. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Love on the other side, he's a veteran who understands those things. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have the athleticism or any of that stuff that Jeff Green has, but he understands where he needs to be on defense and how he can be the most effective being in the way. Yeah, he knows he's going to get beat, but he utilizes himself to be in the way as much as possible and not to jump out of the way or not to just allow somebody to have a clean look. You know what I'm saying? He understands those things and how important they are. It's just things like that. You know what I'm saying? That would annoy me as a coach. But in that annoyance, it's just going to remind me, you know what? I just have to remind these guys, constantly talk to these guys, motivate these guys, encourage, because I'm not the one to yell and get down on you, but I'm always going to be, pushing you to fly. You know what I'm saying? To the point to where hopefully you recognize those things and you're like, "Well, I got it, coach, right on. Ooh, I saw it. Things like that. Like, okay, right on. We're getting somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you can see it, you can do it. It's just a matter of getting there in the right time and getting there with the right anticipation. You know what I'm saying? So little things like that, is where we're going to see what Coach Malone is made of. You know what I'm saying? Being able to remind Jokic it's not in our best interest for you to ISO on the wing. You know what I'm saying? It's not and I've heard him say things like, well, I'm not worried about offense. It's defense. And I completely agree. I'm a defensive first coach as well. But I'm concerned about offense as well. You can't tell them that you're not worried about offense and then allow them to be out here willy-nilly, man, just out here playing 2001 Philadelphia 76er ball when that's not, your team is not that. You know what I'm saying? Your team is not that. This is a much better team than that team which made it to the finals. Credit to Allen Iverson. Credit to Allen Iverson and the defensive player of the year. A lot of people forget that Dikembe Mutombo was the defensive player of the year that year. That was a heck of a defensive team. You know what I'm saying? But this is not that. We are not that defensive team at all. And we are not reliant on one player on offense at all. Right? So there's no reason to just allow them to just, free bird it. Keep the structure that has gotten you to where you're at. You know what I'm saying? The moving motion, I like to call. Because it's not just guys, it's a responsive thing. You know what I'm saying? Based off what the defense is doing, we're cutting behind, we're fading out. It's very I very much appreciate the intelligence behind it. You know what I'm saying? It's not just we're not just in emotion running around until we create an opening. You're moving pieces for the openings that we want to take advantage of. You know? And the Nuggets do that. Jokic does that offensively. Jokic does that. And he needs to remain doing that and allow Jamal to take over at times, especially to start the game. To start the game and to finish the game, just let Jamal. To start the half and to finish the half, let Jamal. Jokic needs to control everything that happens in between. You know what I'm saying? But between Jamal and Michael Porter Jr., to start the game, to start the half and to finish the half, let them. Let Jamal and let Michael do what they do, and you pick up behind that if they don't succeed. But then in between that, you know what I'm saying, you dominate. That's how Jokic needs to attack it. You know what I'm saying, and keep that format. Jokic doesn't need to be offensively aggressive to start a game, even though you might hear some people in the media saying, Jokic needs to score more. Jokic needs to look to score. No, that's not how this team is constructed in those situations. All right? There's certain situations where Jokic needs to look to score. You know what I'm saying? And it's not to start the game. You know what I'm saying? And at times it's not to finish the game, although Jokic definitely can be a closer. I much prefer putting the ball in Jokic's hands or Murray's hands for him to get the shot for Murray or Porter Jr. You know what I'm saying? So those are some things that the Nuggets can do. And that's basically just be themselves. Stop. They kind of got out of character. They lost a lot of focus, lost a lot of discipline in game 2. I mean, they were just out of place too often. You know what I'm saying? Too often. The frustrations kind of built up, which led to some of the reasons why Jokic just wanted to dominate on the offensive end. But those things need to change. Stick with what got you there. Don't fall out of character. And hopefully Jokic understands that you don't want to put the dogs on a leash. You know what I'm saying? Early. You know what I'm saying? Let them off the leash early. Let them run around. You know what I'm saying? Let them get going. And then if you need to, you can reel them back in and put them on that leash for a little bit. Bruce Brown, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray. Just let the dogs run and, let them go. You know what I'm saying? And then you saw what Steve Kerr, I don't know if people saw what Steve Kerr said. He had a good comment. And this is what I've been saying. He said the Miami Heat are buying into their championship winning mindset. Nobody's complaining on the bench about not playing or saying, man, I didn't get to play, so whatever. Or, man, they put in so-and-so, so they don't have that type of, they all in it together. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's, 5 or 12, you know what I'm saying? They all in it together. It's not always like that with the Nuggets. You know what I'm saying? Remember I said that some guys at times get in their feelings if they're not getting the ball enough, if they don't get their shots. Or if they're sitting on the bench too long for such and such, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes guys get in their feelings, you know what I'm saying? And Coach Malone has to be a psychologist or a therapist, I should say, and or a motivator or somebody. And before anybody before you disagree and be like, yo, we playing together, we're together, no, that's not. There's a reason Jamal Murray said what he said at his in-game press conference after the Game 2 loss. There's a reason he said that. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Jamal Murray said, as long as we stay together, we'll be fine. Now there's no need to say that. You don't say that. You don't say that if everything's fine and everybody's together. There's no need to say that. Because even saying that if everything is fine runs the risk of messing things up. Because then somebody's going to question, wait, I thought everything was good. What is he talking about? So the only reason you would feel comfortable saying that in that setting, reporters, all of that at the table, press conference, whatever, is because things aren't fine. And right now, they're not together or as together as they were a couple games ago. Or just a game ago. When somebody says that, you should listen. You know what I'm saying? And Jamal's letting you know that right now we got to get some things together, man. You know what I'm saying? And again, you can just look at the way the game unfolded. You know what I'm saying? You can look at the way Jokic was, how he had his tunnel vision in that third quarter. You probably was an argument at halftime in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? I told you, guys get in their feelings on the Denver Nuggets. And that's just not the Denver Nuggets. That's, again, Damian Lillard said it, I don't want to keep repeating, but that's a large percentage of the NBA these days. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta, you gotta know how to roll with it and how to get guys focused. Honestly, when you set a certain tone and allow guys to understand certain things, they don't let their mind wander because they already know. But obviously, with some of the things that we've heard about how the guys feel about certain, Jamal Murray thought that they'd be done with him. I mean, why would he even think that, right? Other than the business aspect of it. But I'm pretty sure even while it was going on, there had to have been people from the organization saying, man, we sticking right here by you, man. You're our guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if it wasn't, then that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just let these guys and their minds wander just hoping and assuming that they're made a certain way to be able to handle certain things. You know what I'm saying? That's just not the way it is today. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I may say things about how it is and how reckless and irrational people are with their emotions nowadays, and yet they still lead with it and make decisions off of it. But nonetheless, that's how it is. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be able to understand that. And if you're leading a group of people, you got to understand how to utilize that and how to help cure that. You know what I'm saying? If needed, and it is needed. You know what I'm saying? And as you can see, it looks like Eric Spoelstra does a good job of curing that on his team instead of utilizing it or allowing it. He cured it. He cures it. You know what I'm saying? They probably have discussions before they even sign certain players. They, have a meeting like, hey, this is what we expect out of you. This is how it is here. And for those people who already know, that is exactly what they do in Miami. People have said when you go to play for the Miami Heat, they definitely let you know how things are ran, what they do, and what they expect out of you. And if you can't handle that, you know what I'm saying? Don't even worry about it. So, and I like that. You know what I'm saying? I like that. You see where they were able to get. Nobody even picked them to get to where they're at. And you see how far they've gotten because they have a certain understanding, not only in each other and what is expected out of each other, but there's an accountability and a respect for honesty. You know what I'm saying? And remember, you can't be accountable if you're not honest. You know what I'm saying? If you can't be honest with yourself, you can't be accountable. You know what I'm saying? And so you can see that the Miami Heat definitely have an ability to be honest with themselves. And it's gotten them to the good position. Now, what we need to see from the Denver Nuggets is that same mentality. Will we? Probably not, because it's a different environment. It's a different coach. It's a different energy. You know what I'm saying? It's more of an understanding allowance. I don't want to say enabling, because that's not I don't think that'd be the right word. But it's just more of an understanding allowance. You know what I'm saying? There's compassion, there's sympathy, there's empathy, there's pity. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of these things, you know what I'm saying? And you just got to figure out which one you're utilizing. You know what I'm saying? Um, so we'll see, uh, how the Nuggets respond in playing, you know what I'm saying, with this pressure coming in for game 3. And remember, I said it is pressure. This is the first time that if anybody says there's no pressure, they're lying. You know what I'm saying? They just have to say that, or they want to say that, or they're told to say that, or they just don't know any better. Um, First time ever in the history of the franchise, you're in the finals. First time ever in the history of the franchise with an opportunity to win a NBA championship. This isn't the ABA, this is the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Um, that's a lot. You know what I'm saying? You want that. It's not that you're afraid of that. It's just that you want it. So it makes you want it so bad for the town, for the city, for the organization. You just want that. You know what I'm saying? So you just put pressure on yourself. You know what I mean? So we'll see how Coach Malone maneuvers that. You know what I'm saying? And has the team ready to play. You know what I'm saying? Um, and we'll see how they respond. We'll know from the first two. Remember, I said before, we'll know from the first 2 or 3 minutes. You know what I'm saying? We'll know. We'll know from the first 2 or 3 minutes uh, if they're unsure, if they were arguing, if they were fighting, if guys don't believe in the game plan or in what coach wants, or if guys still are on the bench saying, "Hey, I could help, put me in. Why aren't you putting me in?" We'll know all of that in the first few minutes. You know what I'm saying? It's not hard to see. It's not hard to tell. Now let's jump into the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat just keep doing what they're doing. Bam, keep being aggressive, attacking Jokic, making Jokic work. Um, are they going to keep Kevin Love in the lineup? Probably, probably, probably. That way, the Nuggets don't just start the game with a complete size advantage. To be utilized and taken advantage of immediately. I think having Kevin Love, who's good at boxing out, moving pieces so he can rebound or create rebounds for his teammates, that stuff matters. You know what I'm saying? Especially against size. You know what I'm saying? So he probably will remain in that starting lineup. There's no reason to leave from it. You know what I'm saying? Until the Nuggets adjust and dominate. So look forward to seeing Kevin Love remain in that starting lineup. Um, Gabe Vincent, look forward to Gabe Vincent continuing to lead the charge offensively. Of course, Max Strus is going to get his shots up, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? And whatever minutes Duncan gets, Duncan is going to play, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? But look for Gabe Vincent. I know I keep saying, is Jimmy going to have a big game? Is Jimmy going to do this? Is Jimmy going to do that? Jimmy is doing a very good job of empowering, and not in the way of I don't want to do it, or I can't do it, or the pressure's too big, whatever. It's not even about that. He's just doing a very good job of empowering his teammates, and maybe because that's kind of where he comes from. Jimmy was never the star guy coming into the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Somebody had to empower him. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Kawhi Leonard, who definitely did his thing in college, but you can tell somebody empowered him. You know what I'm saying? To not just be uh, like you're too good to just be a team guy or a role player. You can also be a star who still plays like a team guy. You know what I mean? And but they still do a good job of empowering their teammates, which is why it's so easy to play. People talk about Jimmy and how he is and all that. People talk about Kawhi and how different he is and all that. But I guarantee you, teammates absolutely love playing with Jimmy and Kawhi Leonard. I mean, those are two guys you would absolutely love to play with on your team. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, Jimmy does a good job of empowering his teammates. So I look forward to seeing Gabe Vincent lead the charge offensively. Um, and Jamal has to respond to that, because the Heat are going to continue to do that specific thing right there, put the pressure on the Denver Nuggets to play defense. And remember, that's what I said the Lakers were supposed to do. But I guess they weren't together long enough. They didn't have the pieces. D'Angelo was completely ineffective. It just they had only one or two guys who could put that kind of pressure consistently on the Denver Nuggets. The Heat have a couple guys who can put that pressure on. You know what I'm saying? Have a few guys, who can put that pressure on, especially if they get hot. You know what I'm saying? If they get hot, So, that's definitely something the Nuggets have to deal with. And that's a really good game plan. The Nuggets have always shown to not be a great defensive team. You know what I'm saying? The Nuggets have played good defense at times, switching defense, going small, trapping, having a trapping zone. They've succeeded at times. You know what I'm saying? Looking good. But the Nuggets have never been known this season to be a strong defensive team. One of the ways to counteract their offense is just make Jamal Murray have to play defense the whole game. Make Michael Porter Jr. have to play defense. Make Aaron Gordon have to play defense. These guys kind of start getting in their heads sometimes, man. Remember I said that. These are some of the guys who kind of mentally kind of start thinking a lot. You know what I'm saying? As an opposing player and coach, you want to utilize that. So look forward to the Heat to stay aggressive going at these guys. And like I said, the Nuggets just have to respond accordingly. They have to stay composed. You can see the composure was kind of out of whack in game 2. They have to stay composed. They have to not be flop hunting, foul hunting. You know what I'm saying? Just play the game. Don't worry about the refs. The refs are bad all the way around. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. It's not, and a lot of it's not their fault. It's not just because they're, it's just, flopping has gotten so out of control. You don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? It's clearly a foul, but you think he flopped, so you don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's a clear flop, but you call a foul. You know what I'm saying? So it's that has really changed the game as far as refereeing is concerned. So that part, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? What do you so you got to know that, and you got to figure out a way to play above that. You know what I'm saying? And the Nuggets just have to do that, especially the players on the court. If Coach Malone wants to do what he needs to do to get on the refs, get a tech, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely for that. You know what I mean? I ain't never been afraid of none of that, You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing I'm sure Coach Malone will be able to get that point across, hopefully. And we'll see how this game 3 plays out, man. We'll see whose adjustment, still succeeds or still reigns supreme, is a better way to put it. Because the Nuggets will definitely have to adjust. And they might have to go 9 men. They might have to grab one more person off that bench. Christian Brown did a really good job in game 2. He did a very good job. So he added some good production. The bench play obviously was better than the starters, minus, in my opinion, Jeff Green. He had some good moments out there, and I'm just saying he just the lack of focus and allowing the shots he allowed really hurt. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what kind of rotation, what kind of adjustments are made to the rotation specifically are made by the Denver Nuggets. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, looking forward to seeing the game. So I thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one. All right. If this world were mine.